Hello again, and welcome back. I'm Megs, your host, and this is Expedition Maker.
The art of making is timeless. It takes courage, resilience, trust, and a splash, or two or three, of creativity. As Jews, we know how important it is to persevere and stay flexible. As people, we know this year has been quite the, well, let's call it what it is, a show. With the impact of the pandemic on the arts, we decided to create a remote competition for Jewish creatives to challenge and expand their artistry and imagination. Each week, our makers will receive a challenge prompt based on the Jewish calendar and have 6 days to design, assemble, and record their every move. In the end, only one will take home $5,000 and the title of Grand MAKHER.
We're already halfway through the competition. Can you believe it? Last week, Yosha's mask saved him from elimination, but unfortunately, we still have to say goodbye to 2 makers this week with the lowest amount of votes. Let's hear what they wanted to share.
Hi everybody! It has been great being part of Expedition Maker so far, and I feel grateful to have gotten to this point. It's been awesome getting to know these incredibly talented group of artists, and I can't wait to see what they continue to make, and I think that you guys will enjoy it too. And check me out, follow me if you want to see more crafts, Judaica, books, all the above. Thanks so much, everyone. Bye.
Hey everyone. So I was voted off the island this week, but I had a really great experience. It was really exciting and artistically stimulating to be able to create these challenges, art for art's sake, and to be in such a wonderful community of artists. I feel like I grew a lot from this experience. I met some amazing people. I hope to keep these connections in the future, and I'm thankful for my time on Expedition Maker.
We sure are going to miss you too. Now we're down to 6. As usual, we'll announce our weekly winner at the end of the episode, so stick around, because this week, the competition got out of this world.
Our makers met on our weekly maker call to hear from Yoshi about this week's challenge.
So your challenge for week 3 is New Moon Rising. And your challenge is to make a ritual object to be utilized for observing the new month of Nisan and also the new year for the Jewish people.
Now let's see what our top 6 makers made.
Challenge is getting tougher and tougher every week. For my project, I think it'd be really cool to make a calendar and include some level of interactivity so that I, as a observer of the new moon, of the Jewish calendar, I have to do something. I started looking around through other books I have about Jewish art, Jewish history, to try to come up with some idea of what to do. What occurred to me was that we already have in the Jewish tradition a ritual object about counting. That is the Omar Counter. And the ones that I responded to the most were the ones that encourage the user to do something. I was thinking about all the Omar counters that I had seen as part of my research leading up to this. And I love this idea that some of them are literally just posters that you put on the wall. And I love the idea that just a poster, just wall art, is a ritual object. And there's, especially in the Spanish-Portuguese diaspora tradition, have these Omar counters that are scrolls that like have a window and you scroll through it and it shows like what day of the Omar that you're on. So I made a calendar for the whole year. We have our wheel of the Jewish calendar. There's also a little pocket here, so we know what month it is. The Jewish day starts at night. Shabbat ends when the 3 stars come out, and then we know we're officially in the next day. And this is a dial. You can turn the month to follow where you are. As the month turns, the phase of the moon in this big piece turns, and it follows you around. In little tiny icons are icons for all the different holidays of the year. Apples and pomegranates for Rosh Hashanah, shofar for Yom Kippur, long sukkah for Sukkot, a Hanukkah menorah, tree for Tu B'Shvat, Tu B'Av, and Passover. One thing that was really powerful for me was reading the blessing. Who are you honoring this month? Blessing, so what are you hoping for? And happiness, what is a thing that you're excited about? And I have a little portable version. There's a little travel light that you can take with you to document the moon on your own terms. So we're starting with new moon, and then this also cycles through all the phases of the moon.
Crazy.
Wow, that was unbelievable.
This is an IKEA light set that we bought 2 years ago to put in our cabinet and never used, and so I just stuck it in the back. I think it'd be really validating to know that I made it to the final, that people like my work, that people are responding to it, and they want to see me make more of it.
When I originally received this challenge, my first instinct was to do something connected to my family. It didn't work out, I scrapped it, and then I looked into myself and really thought about rituals that are important to me. After some consideration, I thought about how I love to eat seasonally. All the produce here is seasonal. One of my concerns that I did do the Jaffa oranges for the last competition is the fact that I'm doing more fruits and vegetables a problem. Maybe? Let's see. Here's the key of all of the different months. For creating this piece, I used all recycled magazines, and then I sort of cut the different magazine papers to create the image. When I collage, I do it very similarly to when I paint. It's a big mess because the pieces get everywhere, but it's been really fun. One of the things about living here in Israel is that there's seasonal produce. So when I moved here, I realized that there's such a short window where you can get strawberries or where you can get papaya or eggplant, like baby eggplants. So I thought it would be interesting to kind of go through the different months and try and capture what's seasonal and help other people by doing this kind of understand about seasonal eating, whether you're in Israel or in the United States. I kind of went to the materials that I have, some collage, and then I found 12 different seasonal fruits or vegetables that I like, and I sort of created each one out of paper collage. They're very unique to Israel. What I did was I made these little cards, and they fit into a frame which you can put on your refrigerator. So there's a little key of every single month, and then there are 12 different cards. It's just a little reminder, an art reminder on the fridge to think about these kinds of things. I had to create 12 different collages in 2 days. So it was all collaging all the time, and it was very challenging. To move forward to the final four would be unbelievable, exciting.
This is how I find out what is in season.
It is Creative Hour with Yosh. We are entering into the third week of Expedition Makers. Thank God, Baruch Hashem, we made it this far. Thank you for tuning into this journey. I'm super stoked. I'm just now beginning my creative process. I'm going to create a ritual item. I want to make sure that it's something that I could use, not something that's just going to hang on the wall or just going to be like a memory of oh yeah, the new moon, yay. I create these things all the time, but for some reason, when it comes to the signification of the moon, I'm a little whoa, this is heavy stuff. I gotta get started because this is going to require some time. I only got 2 days. But I realized I can't sit down because my energy was it's nighttime. Go to sleep. But it's Creative Hour. So we're gonna think of a pattern or a design I'll emboss in this. For the most part, it's kind of coming along. You got the copper over the silver. Now it's just trying to piece this copper to the silver to make this case. I thought it was fitting for a new moon, something that's concealed and going to be revealed. And I went with a pomegranate theme. For me, pomegranates represent springtime, New Year. I just have a love for pomegranates in general. The idea is to have a silver and then copper overlying it with the pomegranate design. And I even use crystals from the mountains. I'm really happy that I got to create this piece. It was really cool to create something that I can utilize every month throughout the year, especially things that we can take with us and we can journey with. And I love it. I just love the fact that we're called to be observant to what is taking place above us in the heavens and around us. That's my final thoughts. I'm really happy this is the way it turned out. Thank you for tuning in.
This week's challenge was to make a ritual object to be utilized for observing the new month. I'm setting out to make a pocket moon on the go, have it be sort of like a fold-out book that ideally go over your cell phone. When the cell phone's flashlight is on, it creates this little constellation on the ceiling. Whenever you need it, you have a moon on the go for all of your ritual observances. That's my plan today, and we'll see how it goes. They look pretty good. Now I just have to paint them. I've watched lots of videos on how to fold paper in this particular way that I want to do. I didn't really account for the bulk of the paper moon. I am going to create a clasp system. I have these tiny little vintage snaps. I am super proud of the piece I made this week. I sort of pictured it as like a mid-century knick-knack that you would find at the candy shop. It was so fun to make. I was really inspired by the idea of having something that I could just like take with me wherever I went. Done a little bit of traveling and I moved around a lot as a kid, and just the idea of having something that was really portable. And I was raised very observant, and so it was actually really meaningful for me to make something that was a ritual for me, like a ritual that I would use. I can carry this with me wherever I go. Just like my Judaism, I'm having a total blast being a maker. Making it to the final would be so exciting!
My moon's not working.
The bar has been raised. People are putting out amazing work. The first week, everyone didn't really know where we were going with this. Second week, we are aligned and we are on it. These challenges keep getting more and more open. Now, new moon, go. What I love about Judaism is that it gives us this framework within which to connect to the actual earth, to the land. We have to think about the land, we have to think about the earth, and we have to think about time as it is dictated by nature. The time of day, the time of month, and the time of year. So steampunk can actually work. Steampunk is a combination of old and new, and it's very mechanical.
It came to me. I was cooking here, getting ready for Shabbat dinner at my place, and I thought about the item. It's about cups of water that you pour from one to the other, celebrating the new month with water, because that's the symbol for femininity, the moon. The moon is connected to the tide and the sea, and water is connected to birth and the cycle of life.
The ritual I've created is a way to count the days of the month, ending with an act of art as a celebration on Rosh Chodesh, the transition into the next month. The ring in the middle includes references to various cycles of actual time, the 4 seasons, the 3 trimesters, or growth from the vine to the grape and the bottle. Here's how to use the water calendar. Each day of the month, pour out water from one of the vials. On Rosh Chodesh, at the end of the month, in the pool you've created, make a colorful creation with the dyes, a temporary snapshot of how you are doing or how you hope to feel. At night, turn on the flashlight of your phone, place it on the tall stand, and let your creation turn the ceiling into a meditative, colorful moon. What I want to share with the community with this project is that ritual is beautiful, and specifically within Judaism, ritual can connect us to the earth and to non-digital, real-world stuff. So I'm happy to create something that helps people connect to the real expressions of time in the world that do not involve watches and clocks.
I was feeling pretty uninspired by this week because a ritual object is just like not really in the knitting wheelhouse. And so I was thinking a lot about like how to make something that was an object and also have this ritual connection. I was like, okay, I want this to have to do with women. I love the ritual of women gathering. I have leftover yarn from this sweater that I'm going to be using to make a little baby onesie for a friend of mine who's expecting a child. And so I have like babies on mind, and I was thinking, what could I do for a baby onesie? That would be so cute. Finally, with babies way in the back of my head and the idea of a nightly ritual and the fact that I introduced everyone to yodels last week, my stuffed animal that I sleep with, and I was thinking about nightly versus monthly rituals, and I thought, and I have this baby in the back of my head still, and I thought maybe I'll make a moon pillow, a little moon stuffed animal, and if I have the time, I'll make a matching baby blanket. The moon will tie it into the changing of the month and the lunar cycle, but it is more of a nightly ritual, which is something that's really interesting to me. And this is yarn that I dyed myself with onion skin, so it's just like, it's a little slightly off-white. It has a beautiful shine to it. It looks very much like a moon color, so I'm going to be using this. The moon that I knit today is from a pattern by Sarah Elizabeth Kellner. I wanted a blue cap, and I have this yarn I found that I dyed ages ago, and I think it would look really nice. And I like that it's like a variation of color. The way that it is to add the pattern of the phases of the moon, it will have yarn coming off the other side, and it just doesn't seem like a functional baby blanket if it has yarn coming off of it. So instead, I've decided to do just like a rectangular pillow. It's so cute. Here's the face, little moon face. The competition obviously keeps getting harder and harder as we go on. And I'm just like, I felt like I needed to do something that felt very final worthy. So hopefully that's what it is. I don't think it's a good way to go through life feeling like you need to prove yourself to other people, because I really don't have anything to prove. I know in my heart that like this is something that I love to do and I'm gonna do forever, and I'm good at it, and it's meaningful to me, but it's still really validating to have other people remind me that it's meaningful to them too, and that they can see how much it means to me and how much I love it. So I'm really, really honored that I've had this opportunity to be on the show, and hopefully I make it through to the finale.
And that's week 3. Now let's see who our Challenge 2 winner is. Congrats! You've made it into the final 4. Next week is the final 4, so vote and save your favorite makers to make sure they're in the running for the live grand finale, where one maker will be crowned the Grand MAKHER and winner of $5,000. I'll see you next week, and stay crafty!